Welcome back, guys, to the weekly catch-up, episode 3. And we've got a few things to talk about this week in terms of board game news, what I've been painting, as well as all the games I've played. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. Right then, so last week we managed to play a number of games. The first one that I got to the table shortly after making this playlist's previous video was Marvel Legendary. I got it out and I managed to play some new characters, ones that I'd never experienced before, because recently I picked up the Dark City expansion. And I put a team together of characters that obviously I really like. I had the Punisher, I had Blade, and I had Daredevil. And I had them going up against Red Skull as a practice. But Dark City gives you so many different villains. So many. There's a whole plethora now. So I plan to try out a number of different villains against the different combinations of new characters. And we'll see how we go. But I really enjoyed that. I managed to win, but it was through the skin of my teeth. It was on the last round, the very last round. We'd have drawn one more card, we probably would have lost the game. Then I finished my first solo play of the Rome Total War solo rules that I am making with the new factions that I've incorporated, that I painstakingly made over the previous few weeks. So I added Iberians, which are the Spanish. I added the Egyptians. I added the Seleucids, which are in Turkey. And I added Thrace, which are in obviously northern Greece. And with those extra factions, the world felt more alive. There was a lot more competition. And my solo rules, for now, seem to be pretty good. There's a couple of things I need to address to fine-tune them and make them better. It was a very good first experience of this new rule set I'm putting together. And I'm still working on the next lot of factions. So I'm hoping to have another session of this very soon with a new version of the rules, just to fine-tune those little things that need changing. And the main thing I'm working on when designing these rules is the game needs to be fluid, it needs to be fast. The AI doesn't need to feel like a slog. I want the AI's turn to be quick and easy to follow. That's why there's a little flowchart I've designed to tell you what the AI does. And I've also made alterations. I'm no longer going to be managing their tech. There's no point having the tech. We need to streamline the AI to make it fast and easy to control. And that's my ultimate ambition, because I want the entire world, all of the factions pretty much, in the game. And you can't be spending hours doing the AI's turn without actually playing the game. But what about the actual battle report itself? How did the game play out? In this session, the Iberians, the Spanish, were able to expand their only competition, the Gauls to the north, who were quite aggressive in attacking them. The Egyptians were able to do a lot of mercantile stuff, gaining money from various cards, and they had an easy start. They were left alone. They did declare war on Carthage as I was finishing them off and helped obliterate them. And the Seleucids took a swipe essentially at Thrace and started conquering them early on. The Macedonian faction was the only one that didn't really have any wars at all. But the rules seemed to be off to a good start. Then when my family visited, we had a bit of a games day and we played a sequence of games. The first one was one I was itching to try, which was Metal Gear Solid, the board game. Now, this is obviously from Simon, so you know the state of that company right now. However, the board game was one we pre-ordered some time ago and I've had around for numerous months. We just haven't tried it. But this was our first attempt at playing it. And there's good and bad. There was a bit of a mixed reception on that first play. There's things we like, aspects we like. Obviously, the patrolling enemies is really good. So they move around, they follow the system, depending on whether they're alerted or not. They'll move so many spaces. You've got to manage sneaking around the base without being seen. Now, I'm a bit confused on the line of sight. I feel like even though there's a peg in the front, there's a point at the front of the enemies. I would have imagined that they're just facing forwards, but in some of the examples in the rulebook, it looks like they can also see directly sideways as well. And that makes it, if that's right, if we're playing that correctly, that makes it very, very difficult because it gives them a lot of line of sight. So you only have narrow windows with which to approach enemies, sneak up on them from behind and attack them. The tests to get through doors as well, rolling dice. You're playing a Yahtzee little mini game, but it's quite tough. You need to get there and then have plenty of actions in which to have rerolls. Each action you use is a reroll. It's good first impressions, but we failed on 3 or 4 attempts in a row. Now, we did opt for more of a stealthy approach. Maybe that hindered our way to win this scenario, this mission, the first one that we chose. Maybe that made it harder for us because I was playing the ninja character My dad was also playing the woman, which was a military character. So we're more combat orientated. So maybe we should have just gone in guns blazing and shooting all the guards. But I felt like it being Metal Gear Solid, I thought we needed to be more stealthy. But we found it really, really hard. I only got to the second board itself, the second tile, and the others only just got into the third tile before the game ended by going through the door they had to unlock. It's a bit of a mixed first impression. We enjoy aspects of it. Maybe we made some bad decisions in those first few plays, but we're going to have to play it again and make our decision. But there is a huge campaign in this game that I can try solo. I should probably play it more solo to get more familiar with the rules before we set it out again. Then we played a session of Pyramido, and this was by far my best score I've ever had in this game so far. It was astronomical. In the last tile alone, I got so many points, more than any previous round, with the amount of yellow and red connected. So that's going to have to be a benchmark for the next time I played. But Pyramido is just simple, easy fun. I really enjoy it. I've just released a review video for the game, telling you all about it, my first impressions, why I like it, and why you should try it. So go check that out if you want to know more about this game. Right then, guys, Spirit Island. I am really unsure how I feel about this game. I had a game with my parents over the weekend. I taught them the rules. This was the first time we played this game cooperatively. But I'm still mixed on this. We lost a session, which means so far every game of this I've played, I haven't won. And I feel like it's a very difficult game. I feel like it's a very difficult puzzle. And there's also a bit of luck to it, because as these colonists spread out into all these different regions, they can quickly overwhelm you. And in my solo play, I felt like I didn't stand a chance containing them. We did a bit more of a better attempt at containing them in certain areas on this board, but they still blew up to exponential numbers that we could have stopped them. We could have stopped this blight from spreading across the land. So I find this game really hard. Now, whether we're playing something wrong, I'm not sure, but so far I've not enjoyed the experiences because it just seems too difficult. And I did obviously choose the easiest spirits to play, the 3 easiest spirits that I could find this time around with my family. Gave them the water one and the earth spirit. I took the fire spirit, the phoenix one, for a change because it was one I had played. But yeah, I'm really torn on it. I think we're going to have to play this game some more and make a decision. My dad really enjoyed it. He had the opposite reaction to it than I did. He really liked it, even though it was difficult. I'm just not enamored with it at the moment. Maybe we need to play it more, or maybe it's just not a game for me, but only time will tell. Right, yesterday I played Legacy of Isla Nublar, the Jurassic Park Legacy game, and I continued my campaign. There's spoilers in the pictures, so please don't look if you don't want to know what's in there. But I enjoyed it. I'm continuing the story. I'm enjoying the sessions. I do have some gripes with it. I do have some things I want to bring up, but I want to bring them up when I do the final review, because I'm not far away from completing the campaign now. I've got maybe 4 or 3 more missions to play, and that's the end of the campaign. But I'm enjoying building the park as I play. I'm enjoying a lot of it. A lot more than I thought I would. I actually really like this game. But there are some glaring things that I really am looking forward to talking about, because they need mentioning. They need bringing up. And as a little hint, it's basically the amount of stuff you have to do each game it just gets a bit ridiculous. It gets a bit too much in the latter part of the game, but I'll discuss that fully in the review. But I'm enjoying it. This latest session, I lost the mission. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do everything I needed to do in the limited amount of time that I had. But the park is feeling a lot more alive. There's a lot more dinosaurs I've unlocked. I just unlocked one after this last session as well, which I was really excited and happy about. I would rather have some more herbivores, but I seem to keep getting the carnivores at the moment, which seems to be exacerbating the problem every single time I play. But I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to finishing the campaign, and then I will be doing a full review on it. Right, guys, so the channel's continuing to grow. Thank you very much for your support. I managed to get 2 videos out last week, including a deep dive for Shogun and a first impressions review, essentially, for Pyramido, the board game, which is one that I'm really enamored by. And I have managed to pre-record some more videos, so I'm starting to get ahead. I need to make up some more channel member videos and get them uploaded this week to make up for not doing any last week. So work is ongoing. I'm just getting better and better at making videos and making them more quickly. So it's not taking me as long editing and putting it all together. So there will be more and more videos coming in the near future. But I'm trying to focus on quality rather than quantity. I don't want to give you 100 videos and they not be worth watching. I want to give you 10 videos that are really good. So I won't be pumping videos out all the time. I will be doing it with a focus to make sure that they're at least worth watching on your part. And I've got more plans in for this week. I need to get Company of Heroes review hopefully done by tomorrow. That is my deadline for that. And I want to get it up before the end of the campaign. But generally, the channel is doing very well, and that's thanks to all of you. Right, guys, so painting-wise, I managed to do a bit more this week. I managed to finish the T-Rex for the Legacy of Isla Nublar. Spent a bit of time trying to make it look pretty good. So I'm very happy with the finished products, especially the logo on the front of the base. It really came out well. So the T-Rex looks nice, that's one down. I'd like to paint up the rest of the dinosaurs as soon as I have free time. The Rome Total War, I've painted an additional 4 factions worth of figures. I now have painted figures for the Scipii, for the Numidians, Germanic tribes, and for Scythia as well. In addition, I've been continuing painting the character for Super Fantasy Brawl, which is Marius. I'm trying to finish him next. As you can see, he's coming along slowly. There's a bit of a too heavy an undercoat from the person who I bought this off of, so I'm going to have to work around the jaw on the left hand side. It's a bit too thick to paint. Whether I'm going to have to paint that detail in myself, that might be a bit tricky, but I didn't undercoat them. I got this second hand, so hopefully I'll get that finished pretty soon. You can see Goldar as well, which was one I did recently, probably a month ago. I finished that off as an example of my work from previous ones. So once I get this character done, that'll be 3 characters done for Super Fantasy Brawl. I want to get enough done so that we can have 2 teams against each other, so 6 characters really, and then we can have a painted version on the table, which will be quite exciting. That's it really. Didn't really have much time for any other painting. I did spend a lot of time working on the Rome Total War board game, obviously, so I was cutting out different shapes, card backs, the card fronts, the tokens. It's a lot of work, guys, a lot of work. I've never done so much cutting with scissors in all my life than I have over the last couple of weeks. It's insane, but the project is coming along. On the crowdfunding side, guys, there's only 3 that have really caught my attention this last week. There's Batman Gotham City Chronicles. We'll be doing a season 4, which is quite exciting. I need to get more game time with this game. I can't justify going into season 4 and buying anything if I'm not playing it. Now, I've spent a lot of time painting the pieces, but I really need to get what I've got to the table now, especially with the solo rules that I now have. I actually flicked through the rulebook the other day. It doesn't look like it's too bad. There's a lot of it is just about the scenarios themselves. So hopefully, if I get a chance this week, I might try and get Batman Gotham City out for a solo session. Then there's the Cyberpunk trading card game, which is currently up. That's obviously one of the biggest campaigns that's out recently. It's making a ton of money. And although I haven't played the video game, it's on my list of ones that I want to play. I'm busy playing Ghost of Tsushima at the moment, guys. It's a really interesting world, really cool and vibrant world. And the colours on all these cards, the presentation, the art, it looks phenomenal. So I'm not surprised that it's doing well. But is the game going to be any good? That's the biggest question out of this one. So I'm unlikely to back this one, but it is on my radar. I'm hoping it does well. I'm hoping it's another good card game, because we've had a lot in recent years. The next one is Claustrophobia. I've just seen that that's going to be coming out again, upcoming for this year. There's an upcoming campaign on GameFound. I've always heard of this game, I've always seen it, and I've seen how highly people praise it. So maybe this could be one we could investigate in my group. It just depends. I'm looking forward to see what's in the campaign when it goes live. But the name alone is highly regarded. Apart from that, that's everything that I've seen on the crowdfunding front. I've not been delving into it, I've been avoiding it. I'm trying to focus on playing the games that I already have. So any other agenda? Well, one of the biggest things this week is Fantasy Flight has announced the discontinuation of Descent. I believe it's the 3rd edition of the game. Now these are massive boxes, these absolutely huge boxes. One of the family actually has the base game, the original box. We haven't played it yet, he's got it, so we'll try it at some point. But I also have the 2nd edition of Descent, which I've played a few times. I enjoy it, I like the system, I like the gameplay, I like the app integration. It's pretty much along the veins of obviously the other titles in that same collection. You've got the Lord of the Rings, Journeys to Middle Earth, you've got Star Wars Imperial Assault, you've got You got the application that drives the game forward. You go off exploring the map, etc., and fight the baddies. So Descent's a really good game. I don't have any qualms with it. The third edition always looked weird to me, though. I must be honest. It always looked a bit odd. When I saw the pictures of it, it just looked strange. It looked a bit more like a toy, which I saw some people have said online, rather than a game. But I haven't played it, so I can't really comment on the gameplay. But it's always sad to see a game come to its end. And Fantasy Flight is one of those names. It was my favourite games company years ago when I started delving more into the hobby. Fantasy Flight was up there as number one. But they've gone to the wayside in recent years. They seem to be disappearing. And Descent is another big name, another game that they no longer have now. Their catalogue is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And the only ones I know that they have now off the top of my head is obviously Twilight Imperium and the Arkham universe. Beyond that, I don't know how well Fantasy Flight is doing. They seem to be slipping off the radar. I'm hoping that they've got new games coming up. Maybe I should do a video on Fantasy Flight at some point. To see Descent obviously end, it's been around for a while. I don't know how well the game's done, but obviously it's a recognisable name. So it's sad to see another title obviously come to its end. Other than that, it's been a pretty steady week. There's been the odd bits of news coming out, but I've been focused primarily on completing things that I'm on with. I am getting more excited for the UK Games Expo as it very quickly approaches. Other than that, there's not much else to really discuss for today. So leave your comments down below. Maybe I can feature them in the next video as like an end segment and go through any comments. And let us know if you're enjoying these videos. I hope you found it worthwhile. I hope you've enjoyed listening to it. And obviously do all the usual, subscribe, like, and become a member if you're interested. But it's been a very productive week, and I'm hoping next week is just as productive. I'll see you all next time.